You're too short. You're too skinny. You're too fat. Oh my gosh, you have a gay child? You don't have any kids yet at this age? Tell me you make more than $150,000 a year. Is this the neighborhood you live in? I only got 150 likes for that story. I must not be good enough. That is enough. Imagine the power of challenging what society deems successful, beautiful, and acceptable by recognizing and honoring the greatness that dwells within and then inviting the world to experience it. Who am I? Many people live a lifetime unable to discover the answer. There's a poem by Bevan Lee that says, I am. Two of the most powerful words, for what you put after them shapes your reality. I can say that when I reflect on my life, it took me decades to discover, understand, and walk in my I am. So when did I finally begin living? When did I finally take my first breath? Take a walk with me. It's a typical Friday night. It's preparing for my next day, gazing in the mirror, preparing to get my weave done the next day. And as I was gazing in the mirror, I can tell you that something came over me like a ton of bricks. I can't begin to tell you what it was except that it was a feeling of being done. Done with being preoccupied with what other people thought of me. Done with hiding the reality that I could no longer grow hair. Done with being uncomfortable in my own skin just to make other people around me feel comfortable about how I look. Done with not living because of what grows and what does not grow out of the top of my head. See, I was done. In that moment, I called my super stylist and I said, I'm done. Tomorrow when I come in, I'm shaving it all off. And I'm not bringing in any hair because I can't chicken out in this moment. I had to be all in. She on the other end of the phone said, are you sure? I couldn't have been more sure of anything in my life in that moment. You see, for us, it had been a 5-year journey. 5 years of me going to her salon after hours so that no one could see what was under my mask called a weave. 5 years of me sitting in her chair weeping because I was ashamed. 5 years of her holding that space for me so that I could be vulnerable, even if just for that moment. 5 years of me living in a box that had become too small. Too small, too confining, too limiting, and each time I would try to flap my wings to flourish and grow, I was reminded that I was tethered to that box. You see, my hair was only symbolic of a bigger issue. My bigger issue is that I had an identity crisis. So this journey for me, it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I would always ask her, what if I just shaved it off? Her serious reply, you will when you're ready. So, walk in the salon Saturday, preparing to spend my entire Saturday in the salon. It was packed. Usually it's just me and my stylist, but this day there was no chair empty. And so I walk in and I'm thinking, oh my word, I chose this day to be bold. There was no turning back for me now. So I sat in her chair. She said, "Are you ready? Let's do it." She pulled off my scarf, exposing my male balding hair pattern. She then pulled out the clippers. She began to shave, shaving the weight that I had carried since I was 10 years old, shaving the preconceived ideas I had about beauty, shaving to reveal the core of me. I am not my hair. And as she shaved, we both cried tears of joy and celebration of true liberty. I was finally free. I was finally a lover of me. I was finally unapologetically me. I am free. We are free. I left that place a completely different person. I left that place no longer being consumed by the uninformed opinions that people had of me. I wore a different kind of confidence. Instead, I wore my I am of strength, my I am of perseverance, tenacity, kindness, and generosity. I sashayed out of that place like no one could believe. People were so complimentary. But what I recognize is they weren't responding necessarily to this. Yes, it's a bit shocking, but it wasn't this that they were responding to. What they were responding to is the work that I had done from the inside that then permeated outward for the world to see. You see, beauty, that's an inside job. Ask yourself these questions. What is my I am? Who am I at my core that I can then unleash to let the world experience? What can I summons from within when life happens? Because life happens and it hits us hard. What can you call upon? Your strength, your perseverance, your tenacity, your eagerness, so that you can persevere and be strong, thrive, and have peace. And as we begin to work on ourselves, there's one thing that we can't forget. There's a generation coming behind us. What are we doing to model what it means to really live in our I am? What examples are we setting for them? Why? Because they're watching. Be well, be great, and most importantly, be you.